Oh, okay, my bad. That was chapter 1. But this is only chapter 2. And, ooh, I have an hour left before I have to stop streaming. April 1868. In the shrewd company of the Yugeki unit, Iba and I set off to head for Kazu-san-no-kuni in the Josai domain. Yugeki unit's leader was a youthful man who ascended in its ranks by virtue of his strategic acumen and charisma. Though I later discovered the unit's driving force was actually Iba himself, and its leader was a close friend of his who had gone by the name Katsutaro Hitomi. There's no picture of him. Okay. In Edo, a small resistance faction, the Shogi Company, formed to help topple the Satsuma Choshu and were currently gathered in the city district of Yumen. Yugeki unit had decided to station themselves at a sekisho in Hakone, situated in the Odawara domain, to await orders as tensions steadily rose.
すみません。あなたを新選組の皆さん方のところに送り届けるはずだったのに。
You know what? I just realized he cut his hair. It's not a ponytail anymore. Ooh.
全く逆の方向に向かうことになってしまいました。
Please don't worry about that. Iba had fallen for my ruse, which had his expression of guilt somewhat endearing, but all I truly wanted was for Iba not to regret missing out on fighting alongside the Yugeki unit. Somewhere in the twinkle of his charming smile, I figured that he knew what I'd actually wanted.
あなたの立場は僕の故障ということになっていますから。
A page. A page is an assistant to a samurai or noble, traditionally a young man. Oh right, because I'm a man. I'm dressed as a man. I'm pretending to be one.
本山以外の大使の前では話を合わせておいてください。
Okay, understood.
故障じゃなくて正直に嫁さんだって言っておけばよかったのに。
This guy. You should have just called her your wife instead of your page, you know. Oh, I love this friend.
何を言ってるんです。大使の前でそんな浮ついた真似ができるはずないでしょう。
でも夫婦揃って決起なんてかっこいいじゃないか。
Don't you think the sight of a famed warrior and his wife rising in action will inspire them? Motoyama. As I said before, Iba and I are just friends. The two of us wouldn't work well together. Pixel, don't say that. I am just a girl from the city.
そんなの近藤さんの養女にしてもらえば問題ないだろう。あの人は今や大名だし、絶対に嫌とは言わないだろうしな。
Well, because of our familiar relationship, perhaps Kondo would have gone along with it, but it felt like a stretch. Well, either way, this joke needn't go further. My role is irrelevant since the battle is approaching soon.
冗談じゃないんだけどな。
But I wasn't
まあいい
joking.
か。
Oh well. Pixel, why are you like this? The character's not you. I know. Why would I say that? I don't know. As the frenzy of war loomed, we still had no clue as to where Takeda or father were hiding. A thought in the back of my mind convinced me that they would rear their ugly heads in the middle of a large-scale battle just to antagonize us. Given that the stage was being set, and so too its cast of players, I had to remain vigilant. And so Iba, Motoyama, and I boarded a steamboat, hoping to reach Hakone in time to regroup. Ooh. Looks like we're on a pirate ship. This is new. Sunset melted into the horizon above a sparkling sea.
ここにいたんですか。
Oh, good evening, Iba. Are you feeling any motion sickness? I noticed some of the men are hunched over a pail, having a horrible time.
それについては大丈夫です。船には強いみたいですね。
I see. That's good. For a moment, Iba and I stood in silence, taking in the sounds of tall waves crashing against the side of our boat, inviting a salty scent to tickle our noses.
こうして来てしまいましたが、本当に良かったんでしょうか。
I gasped. Iba bit his lip, thinning his eyes in the middle of his thousand-yard stare. There was a conflict of interest between his natural sense of duty and the promise he had made to Sen, and perhaps he was worried she'd find out.
おせんさんとはあの後
I lowered my head, shaking it silently. As I was leaving Edo, I wrote her a letter, but I have no idea if it'll reach her or not. Moreover, even if she had taken the time to reply, I had left without noting my departure from Edo, so receiving a response was unlikely. As always, there was a possibility that Kimigiku had been monitoring our movements very closely, but Yasei village was going through a tumultuous period of its own, so perhaps they had no need to fuss themselves with our narrow-minded concerns. The chilly winds began to pick up, and I covered my arms with my hands absentmindedly.
寒くありませんか船室にいた方がいいのでは
I had the initial impression that Iba wanted to contemplate his dilemma alone, but would it be alright for me to stay outside?
もちろんいいですけどどうしてって聞くのは野暮でしょうか
You already know why I want to stay.
もう少し僕と話をしたいと
Oh, he
思って
knows.
くれているんですよね
He knows. His frank observation forced me to blush, and I was thankful of the darkness to hide the fact. Yes. But seeing as he had known exactly what I was thinking, I nodded in total honesty.
こちらへどうぞ寄り添っていた方が
New
温
CG
かいで
maybe?
すよ
Iba smiled kindly, and I followed his suggestion and sat beside him. Aw. I thought he would have, put his arm around me or something. In actuality, we shared no more words. Instead, we were entertained by the motions of the sea thrashing underneath us, and our vessel lulled us like a large cradle into a comforting stupor. Just then. Oh. Okay. Iba? Iba grunted in pain, jolting our bodies upward. His left arm shook violently, prompting him to hastily clutch it with his right arm. Iba, are you okay? Is your arm hurting again? I attempted to reach my hand forward as a gesture of concern, and all of a sudden... Oh, it's not bloodlust. It's his demon arm. His left hand jerked forward and constricted my hand. His grip wasn't gentle in the slightest, and he began squeezing tighter in desperation. Ouch! I yelped in pain, trying to bite my tongue. Then he forcefully swatted my hand away.
こんなところ大使たちに見せるわけにはいきませんね
Wait, does his demon side want to kill me, or... Okay, hold on. Iba stood up quickly and brusquely stormed off towards his cabin. Iba, wait! I watched my breath turn to vapor as I rushed after him.
あなたは外に出ていてください僕から離れていて
This is a whole different story. What? I can't just leave you like that. Oh, never mind. All of the brunette color began to fade from Eva's hair. Was this bloodlust? Eva, here, you need to take some medicine.
分かってます
I reached into my pocket and clutched a dose of the medicine before handing it towards Iba. Afterwards, I grabbed the canteen in my pouch and unscrewed the top before handing it to him. Don't choke on it. Drink it slowly, okay? Iba released his hand from gripping his throat, nodding as he washed the medicine down with a cup of water, wincing from its foul taste. He exhaled deeply before speaking in a hushed tone.
外に出ていてください
But
お願いしますこんな姿を
I had no right to impose upon Eva, so I didn't really have a choice but to leave him be. Okay. With that, I saw myself out of his cabin. After shutting the door of Eva's cabin behind me, I let out a heavy sigh, counting the stars shimmering in the reflection of the clear, dazzling sky above. I couldn't shake the image of Eva bent over and struggling to draw breath. Was becoming a fury worth it to him? If he could have taken it all back, especially for my sake, would he have chosen to do so? As far as his banner men were concerned, he was merely marching with the Yugeki unit. But in a time that push came to shove, knowing that his demon powers were off limits, would he let the moment pass him or break his vow to Sen? I What could I do for him? What can a girl do when she watches someone she cares about tear themselves apart? Oh, that's so. 1868 June. Training him sounds like a puppy. A Yugeki unit steamboat traveled safely through Ito Bay, sailing upon steady waters to reach the Odawara domain in good time. Odawara domain was ruled under the jurisdiction of the esteemed Okubo family, which came with a unique list of special protections that were bestowed most prominently as a result of an allegiance to the imperial army. However, upon arrival, Iba and the Yugeki unit engaged in persistent negotiations with the family to turn coat and ally with the shogunate forces. After days of deliberation,
みんな聞いてください。藩主の大久保公の協力を得られました。
ooh. The whole Yugeki unit roared with delight, grinning ear to ear and hugging in celebration.
これから箱根の関所で新政府軍を迎え撃つことになります。早速戦の支度をしてください。はい。
With a resounding affirmation, the Yugeki unit cheered, and suddenly all of them scrambled to get their armaments and armor prepared.
ようやく俺たちの見せ場が来たな。今日この日を待ってたんだ。新選組や伝習隊に負けないよう力を尽くそう。
はい、そうですね。
A look of despair suddenly appeared on Iba's face. Once again, he felt trapped by his moral obligations, split between wanting to fight with his comrades and not wishing to violate the demon code of law. This must have eaten at Iba, especially because of his unrelenting dedication to keeping his word. But given how gracious and tough Iba's heart is, he never would have said so himself.
隊長、いらっしゃいますか。どうしました。 物見から報告が入りました。それが。
The soldier shot a quick glance at us and moved in closely to whisper in Iba's ear discreetly. Iba stroked his chin as he listened, nodding his head as the soldier gave details of the scout's report. Then,
本当なんですか。それは。
It's an army of fury.
はい。自分も信じられませんが。
After the soldier lowered his head, Iba formed a grim frown with his lips and began barking angrily.
急いで出立の支度をしてください。箱根の関所へ戻ります。
Hakone Mountain's path was pebbly and narrow, and I was trying not to slip off the side of the ridge while walking alongside the Yugeki unit's vanguard. I tapped Iba's shoulder to speak into his ear. Iba, did something happen?
新政府軍の部隊が江戸に向かって進軍してくるという知らせが入ったんです。しかもそれを先導しているのは小田原藩士だと。
What? Don't tell me. Only hours ago, I felt as though the Odawara domain was joining our fight against the Imperial Army. Wait, what? Oh, they backstabbed us. That's what happened. Was all of it a ploy to ensnare the Yugeki unit? I feared the worst, but I clung timidly onto the hope that this was some sort of huge misunderstanding. Oh boy. It was a sweltering afternoon, made harsher by the winding mountainous paths. We finally arrived at the Seikisho, exhausted and sore, but...
人の姿が見当たらないぞ。やっぱりこれは。
We rushed to the kiosk, refraining from panicking as we hoped to find someone who would welcome us. But no Odawara soldiers were in sight, which was conspicuous considering how fortified this station was known for being.
武器や弾薬も持ち去られていますね。ということはやはり。
どうするんだ。小田原藩が裏切ったってことは。
Those sons of bitches. BRB, no problem.
俺 たちはこのまま小田原藩と新政府軍に挟み撃ちにされるってことか？
元山、遊撃隊の大使たちは今どこまで戻ってきているんですか？
そろそろ追いついてくるはずだけど、そういえば遅いな。
迎えに行ってきます。僕から離れないで。
Oh, okay. Iba and I bowed towards Motoyama and re-entered the forest through the mountain trail. While on the way there, I heard a commotion. Oh boy. Iba, look! Oh boy. A large skirmish had broken out beside the path of the river where soldiers of the Yukeki unit were scraping together a defense against well-armed forces. Upon closer inspection, Iba and I saw flags belonging to the Odawara domain and soldiers clad in both Odawara and Imperial attire were pushing through. I cupped my hand over my mouth in shock. While the Yukeki unit was doing its best to fend off the wave of advancing foes, they were far outnumbered, and in a moment the enemy troops slaughtered them, turning the river red with dismembered limbs floating down the current. Oh god. No. Rumors of betrayal floated everywhere during the Battle of Tobabushimi, considering many domains had defected upon witnessing the sheer scale of the Imperial army. Now, here we were at Hakone, feeling the same sting. Pixel.
一度だけ破らせてください。彼らが全滅するところをただ傍観するなんて。
You go.
僕には。
Kill them. I nodded. The moment had finally come, and Iba was deciding whether or not fighting would, in fact, alter history enough to receive punishment from Princess Sen. It was unclear to both of us what kind of consequences he would incur for breaking the vow, but I couldn't bear to make Iba witness this gruesome affair and abandon all of his loyal soldiers. His blade hissed as it came out of its sheath.
隊長、来てくださったんですね。
わざわざ我々に首を献上しに来たか。
The Imperial soldier aimed his rifle with one eye shut under his straw hat and pointed it toward Iba. However, the swift movement of Iba's sword produced a lucid flash as he kicked the ground and disappeared. I wasn't the only one who couldn't catch him.
なんだ今の動きは。全く見えなかったぞ。俺化け物め、撃て
！All of the Imperial soldiers trampled the weeds beside the riverbed as they frantically spun around, looking for an open shot at Iba. When Iba finally appeared, the Imperial soldiers fired their rifles blindly at him before he had a chance to escape, and Iba flicked his sword 3 times. I covered my ears to the startling gunfire, but I heard metal clinking as I took my hands off of them. I stared in awe. Iba deflected all of the bullets, splitting them in half before they dropped to the ground. Iba, what just happened? I was keenly aware of Iba's legendary sword technique, but possessing the confidence, let alone the vision, to anticipate the path of a bullet and split it in half was something else entirely. It's his demon eyes. You saw what? What? No amount of mastery could grant that sort of supernatural intuition. It was an impossible feat, yet Iba spoke about it as coolly as one would describe a stroke of luck. I was baffled, but Iba seemed more or less indifferent.
それだけじゃない。体の奥底から力が溢れてくるんです。鬼の腕が力を貸しているのか。それと僕の体に馴染んできたということでしょうか。
Just like that, Iba's left hand began to emit a bright purple glow, causing the markings upon it to shine. The light pulsated, as if to answer Iba's quandaries. So long as he could harness its awe-inspiring power, there was no way he could lose in battle. As my mouth fell ajar, someone interrupted me.
なんだお前たちは。俺たちは味方だぞ。
Okay.
なんだこいつらは。鉄砲で撃たれても倒れないだと。
Oh?
まさか人間じゃない。
From the distance cried several voices, and then a blood-curdling shriek. Who's attacking? Shadows clad in pointed hats with glowing red eyes began to swarm over the fallen Odawara soldiers. They moved like specters, dragging their feet over the dead without hesitation, and their uniforms were the same as the Imperial forces from earlier. Wait, so they killed their own people? Then an ominous glimmer appeared in their eyes before they mutilated the corpses, digging their maws in terrifying glee to feast upon blood and organs. Ugh.
彼らは羅刹か。ということはまさか。
As Iba spoke in a stern tone of voice, a tall, long-haired officer emerged from the crowd.
やれやれ。食事をするのは構わんが、こやつらの作法はなっておらんな。
That voice.
やはり、お前もここにいたか。伊庭八郎。
Who's
そ
that?
して、
I think that's one of the new characters that you could play. I don't think he comes with the game though. I think he's maybe one of the DLC characters. I think he was on the website.
再びこうして相まみえる日を待ち望んでいたぞ。
Lunmi, if you're still in the chat, his voice sounds familiar too, right? This guy? Takeda licked his lips as he spoke, turning his fearsome gaze over toward me. What? Okay. The former captain of the Shinsengumi's 5th Division. After losing his... Oh, him. He's the guy that cut off our guy's arm. After losing his right arm in battle, Jiba, he sought the help of Kodo Yukimura to drink the water of life and fuse the demon arm to his body. Oh, you're the other guy. He eyed me like prey, filling me with dread as he scanned me from head to toe. Had Takeda always looked at me that way? Iba stepped in front of me protectively, forcing Takeda to meet his line of sight. I think he only wants me because his rival is in love with me. He doesn't want me because he wants me.
そう遠くないうちに再会するだろうとは思っていましたが、今日あなたを切ることができれば、これ以上犠牲を増やさずに済みますね。
Ooh.
この私を切ると。
I found myself perplexed by Takeda's mockery. When last we met in Yase village, Takeda was handily beaten by Iba in a one-on-one duel. But there was a disturbing cockiness about Takeda that was causing my stomach to sink. Iba. I turned to Iba to voice my concerns, but as his name left my mouth...
危ないですから、下がっていてください。
For a moment, I hesitated whether or not to listen. But out of respect, I backed away from Iba. Moments earlier, Iba mentioned that a mysterious power was beginning to flow through his arm. If that were true, then I had faith that he would have no trouble subduing Takeda once again. But I couldn't shake the inexplicable dread. Ooh. Oh, he has a demon arm too! They both have demon arms.
一瞬で決めさせてもらいますよ。長々と相手をする暇はありませんから。
よかろう。
Oh, that's his name.
一瞬で。
Kanryusai Takeda. Okay. Takeda offered a smug grin, and in the next moment... Whoa. White sparks flashed as their blades charged into one another with overwhelming fervor. They traded and parried strikes with... What are all these words? Aplomb? But Takeda was gaining the upper hand, pushing Iba back with a flurry of offensive slashes. What?
鬼の腕の力さえあれば、私の剣筋を見切ることなどたやすいと思っていたのだろうが、どうやら当てが外れたようだな。 お前の鬼の腕の力が目覚め始めているのならば、当然私にも同じことが起きているはずだろう。
Out of frustration, Eva began swinging wildly at Takeda, swiping him from all directions. But each of his swings was nimbly dodged.
見えるぞ、お前の剣筋が。
He was hit.
急所は避けたか。まあその程度の芸は見せてもらわねば戦いがいがないか。腐っても名門道場の跡取りだ。すでに私との力の差を悟っているはずだな。
一体どういうことだ。ヤセの里で戦った時はこれほどの力の差はなかったはず。それなのに
鬼の腕を得たことで慢心したな、伊庭八郎。善心だろうが悪心だろうが、供物すらよこさぬ者に恩恵を与えるものなどないぞ。
供物だと。
What did you do?
お前まさか人の血を。
Well, you also drank human blood. You drank my human blood.
その通り。数十人では効かぬほどの人間の血を飲んだ。
Whoa, he killed 12 people?
その息に応えてくれたのか。鬼の腕はお前をしのぐ力を与えてくれたぞ。
Alright, we're changing strategies. I'm just gonna give him my blood from now on. Every time the 3 options come up, take medicine, give blood, or try to hold back, I'm gonna give him blood every time. He must be okay with it now after hearing this.
なんということを。
思えばお前のことは一目見た時から気に入らなかった。
Why? Why do you hate me so much?
たまたま名門道場の跡取りに生まれただけで輝かしい将来を約束され。
How does he think he's hot shit? He's so respectable. This guy.
しかもその若さで将軍の奥詰めを務めていただと。名もなき家の出のせいでこの地望を生かす機会さえ与えられず、どこに行っても軽んじられ、武田の姓を語ってすら這い上がれなかったこの私の胸の内が貴様にわかるか。
Similar. Why are you hurting him? A laceration suddenly appeared on Eva, from which a thick geyser of blood splashed into the air. Eva collapsed to the floor, reaching his hand tenderly to his wound, writhing in a widening pool of blood.
だがたった今わかったぞ。お前は今この瞬間私に倒されるためだけに存在していたのだ。
Oh, get off your high horse.
お前には這い上がるためだけにおびただしい量の血をすすり悪鬼となり果てることなどできまい。
Do you guys still like him? Even though he voiced Dio? Do you? Eva! The bellow of Takeda's maniacal threats echoed in my ears, and as I attempted to sprint towards Eva, one of the Furies snatched me from behind. Stop! Release me! I tried wiggling from out of their vice grip, but the Fury merely tightened his squeeze. I couldn't break free.
ナセツども、その女は丁重に扱え。
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
私の子を産む女だからな。
This is like flashbacks to evil Kazuma. I don't want this. Oh my god. Why am I bearing your children? Oh my god. What the? I fell speechless out of sheer bewilderment. It was a vile and sickening admission, one that I had presumed to have no basis in reality, but haunted me all the same. Oh my god, this is getting creepy. Then he clutched it aggressively, forcing my head to tilt upwards to face him directly.
鬼の腕が私の体に馴染むにつれ、
Oh!
お前が毎晩のように夢に出てくるようになってな。
I don't want to hear that. Oh my god. Ever since I obtained this hand of mine, I've been having very, very lucid dreams of you. What do we do in these dreams?
しかも
Oh my
相
god.
当に艶気がある夢ばかりだったぞ。ただの小娘だと思っていたのだがな。
Are you reading this? Needless to say, they were quite suggestive. Sensuous, even. I used to think you were nothing more than a brat, but perhaps I was a bit hasty. Oh, you are creepy. You are so creepy.
夢の意味を行動に尋ねたところ、この鬼の腕はどうやら純潔の女鬼とちぎり、こうなすことをご所望らしい。
I felt sick to my stomach, barely able to look Takeda in the eye as he indulged in this disgusting fantasy.
彼女に触るな。
No, 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 no. Iba, drenched in his own blood, shot a spiteful glare over towards Takeda, but... Oh, I didn't read that out loud, sorry. Iba! Because of Iba's fury powers, his wounds should be healing momentarily, but...
傷が治らない。
Oh, those are... was it silver bullets, I think? Blood oozed from his flesh, ripped asunder, but showed no signs of regeneration. What was happening? Did Takeda somehow do this?
同じ鬼の腕を持つお前も、私と似たような夢を毎晩のように見ているはずだが。
Oh, so Iba has dreams of me too. That's why there was that one time where he pinned me to the wall and he wanted to kiss me.
その上品そうな顔の裏で、どんな浅ましい欲望を抱いているのか。
It's not so creepy when it's Iba.
この娘に聞かせてやれば、100年の恋も一瞬で冷めるだろうな。
黙れ。
Iba summoned whatever energy he could to heave a half-hearted swing at Takeda, but it was futile.
バカめ、まだわからんか。
After Takeda deflected Iba's sword with ease, he stared into Iba's eyes before slashing his exposed chest. He sounds like he's gonna die. I heard the chilling sound of Iba's flesh splitting like a butcher's knife through swine, followed by a blood-curdling scream. Iba's legs gave out, and he once more fell into a pool of his own blood, which gushed from his wide gash. I watched in horror as his body twitched from the trauma of Takeda's blade, as he cackled to himself. As moments went by, I waited for his flesh to heal, but nothing came forth, save for my tears. No! I stomped on the foot of the Fury restraining me, flailing out of their arms to sprint towards Iba's body. Iba! Iba! Before I could reach Iba, Takeda slapped... Oh, you asshole! Slapped me across my face?
このまま型をつけてもいいが、せっかくの機会だ。一つ。
I'm gonna slap you across the face until your head rolls off your body. He is worse than Kazuma is like a saint compared to this guy.
もしお前が私のものになるというなら、こ
What do you
の
mean?
男を見逃してやらんでもな。
Serve your every need. Screw you. Dig yourself a ditch and bury yourself in it. I was blubbering so hard I could barely form words. You'll let Iba...
多少の憂さ晴らしはできた。こんな雑魚をこれ以上いたぶっても仕方がないからな。
Don't trust him, Pixel. Don't be stupid. He's just gonna kill him anyways after... Takeda was manipulative, but there was no way of knowing if he was bluffing or toying with me. To save Iba's life, the only reasonable thing I could do was... I feel like... Right? Okay. I don't trust you.
ほう。ではそこにいる死にかけのボロ雑巾の言葉なら信じられるとでも言うのか。
And he keeps calling me, not me, he keeps calling Iba names. He keeps calling him a little bitch. Now he's calling him a filthy piece of shit. Well, you're a filthy piece of shit, Takeda.
男など一皮むけば皆同じだ。
Now he's calling me sweetie. I don't want you to call me sweetie.
この男が今日までお前を守ってきたのはその身を己のものとするためだぜ。
At least it'll be consensual. Don't you dare insult him like that. He's nothing like you. Takeda took sick pleasure in taunting me, but I couldn't ever betray Iba in that way, especially after all the generosity he had shown me in his care. I owed him that and more. Right answer. Pixel.
聞き分けのない女だ。まあ二度と生意気な口を聞けぬよう連れ帰って厳しくしつけてやるか。
Look at this guy. Takeda lunged for my arm, twisting it roughly as he pulled me in closer. Oh my god, now he's hurting me. He slapped me and now he's twisting my arm and he wants to break my arm. Ow.
待て彼女離せ
Iba drove his sword into the ground, using it to pull himself up from the floor, but
羅刹ども、その男を始末しろ。血を存分にすすって構わんぞ。
all of the Furies pointed their eyes greedily at Iba, encircling him to pounce upon his body. Oh no, they're going to... Just as I let fear take a hold of me. The blast of gunfire resounded in the distance. A bullet ripping through flesh, then a pained grunt. Oh yeah, who shot him? Fuck all of you. Another round of gunfire went off and I heard the hail fall of bullets hit Takeda and the other Furies. That voice! Iba, let's go, now! Takeda's arms went limp as he flinched from the bullet wounds, and I tore away from him and kneeled next to Iba before lifting up him with my shoulder.
バカめ、逃がすと思っているのか。
Despite oozing blood from their bullet wounds, Takeda and the other Furies blocked our path. That left us only one valuable alternative, the cliff to our backside, which was a long way down. There was no guarantee of survival down the side of the mountain, but we couldn't take the Furies head on. Are you okay with this, Iba? Neither Iba nor I could endure Takeda's sadistic torture. A layer of gloss covered Iba's droopy eyes as he spoke. His cumulative loss of blood was entering him into a daze, and I clasped his hand tightly. I turned to look over my shoulder, and we jumped. The wind was our guide as we glided down the side of the mountain, and I braced myself for impact. Butterflies flew in my stomach as we dropped. Then, as our bodies made contact with the rugged, callous earth, I thought that every bone in my body would shatter. Ow. But by some miracle, I'd only felt a little soreness. You all right, Iba? Iba scrunched his nose in pain, using his right arm to prop himself upright before standing altogether.
平気です
Iba, stubborn as ever, tried to brush it off, but his face was pale and ghost-like from the severe loss of blood. I'm gonna feed him some blood, aren't I? There appeared to be no end in sight to the bleeding. Here, lean on my shoulder. Don't let go. We've got a lot of walking to do. I couldn't let Iba stay within range of those bloodthirsty Furies, nor could I leave him for the Imperial soldiers to capture. Ooh, it's a CG. Oh no, I'm sorry. This hurts, doesn't it? Even as the light was fading from Iba's eyes and he rested his weight upon me, dripping in his own blood, he put on a tough facade, although anyone else could tell he didn't have much time left.
そんなことよりも僕に構わず逃げてください
No, I must save you.
このままでは 二人とも見つかってしまいますから。
What are you talking about? There's absolutely no way I'm abandoning
あ
you.
なたまで武田さんに捕まったら取り返しがつかないことになるのがわからないんですか。
The fear burning in Iba's eyes was the same pulsing through me. But you've been the one protecting me our entire lives. This time, Iba, it's my turn to save you. I had never spoken so candidly with someone in a moment that truly mattered before, but... My words had a visible impact on Iba, who bit his lip in a fit of confusion. Pride governed Iba's entire way of life. Allowing me to rescue him may have seemed like a submission of his power, but he was in no position to argue, and with the enemy hot on our trail, this wasn't up for a debate. I must save Iba. He threw his arm around my shoulder, and we ran frantically around boulders and overgrown tree roots before finding a thick tree trunk to hide behind. We held our breath as we waited for Takeda or his Furies to show themselves, but they never came. Where do we go from here? Going back to Ito isn't an option, and the Yugeki unit is... They're all dead. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bring it up, especially at a time like this. I'll go fetch some water from the river. We need to clean up these wounds immediately. I stood up and grabbed a handkerchief from my pouch. Uh-oh. From a nearby distance, the pines whispered in faint rustles, and I jumped out of fright. Who is it? Is it Takeda? The Furies? Or the Imperial Army? Iba, get down. I wrapped my hand around the hilt of my kodachi, pushing Iba closer to the floor before I saw.
そこにいるのって、もしかして雪村さんか？
Who is that? Is that Motoyama? Is that you? Oh, okay.
やっぱりそうだった。二人とも生きてたんだな。
He's alive! The friend.
さっき新政府軍と戦ってるのを見たから銃で援護したんだけど、まさかあの後崖から飛び降りるなんて思わなくてさ。
Wait, so that gunfire back there was you? Oh, he was the one that saved us.
ああ、そうさ。残っていた大使たちととっさに撃ったんだ。
Nice. Are they all dead? Is Takeda dead?
まさか本当に当たるとは思わなかったけどな。
Ah, I see. We somehow avoided death by the skin of our teeth thanks to the miraculous timing of Iba's friend.
これ以上ここに留まるのは危険だ。もう少し歩けば海岸に出るから、そこから船に戻ろう。
All right, time to get going, Iba. As I turned to look over my shoulder to glance at Iba. He fell into a forlorn trance, staring at nothing with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Iba, do your wounds hurt? I called out his name, but he offered no response, keeping his gaze fixed to the ground.
いえ、何でもありません。行きましょう。
He hoisted himself back up, and all of us ambled through the passageway to the bay where our boat awaited us. Whether from the loss of blood or perhaps from the loss of morale, Iba was utterly broken, realizing that everything he could stand to lose, Takeda was willing to take. Oh. That's why you should take me as yours, as your own.